Okay, we're at the application stage. Hopefully, many of you are starting to understand the idea of percents, fractions, and decimals being congruent or meaning the same thing, or that they are out of the three different ways you can write out of 100. So let's take today, which is 4 out of 100. Or it could be 4%, or it could be 4/100ths. All three written in a different way. Now, the last time we went over that you can convert a percent to a decimal. So I'm going to write 4% up here, and I want you to press pause, and I want you to see if you can remember, how do you convert a percent into a decimal and a fraction? Okay, you've unpaused it, and hopefully you remembered that these two zeros here represent two place values when you're doing decimals. So these two place values, you start over here, you move it over 1, 2 spaces, 1, 2 spaces, because each place value represents tens, and so 4% equals 4/100ths. You also can see that these two zeros represent the denominator 100. And so then you just put the number in front on top. So we have 4/100ths, 4%, and 4/100ths. Now I'm going to introduce something very quickly that we haven't done before, just to introduce it. It's kind of like learning a language. You're not going to get it right away. It's going to seem foreign to you. But I'm just saying it so it can be maybe the first time you're exposed to it. And then when you hear it again, it's going to slowly start sinking in until by the end of the year, you're going to be an expert at this. But I want to say I have 30 children in the classroom. And let's suppose I want to say 4% of them wear glasses. Now, we're reading a book, There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom. I'm going to give you a little preview. Bartholomew, you know his voice? Hi, everybody. Yeah, Bartholomew just came into the room. Hey, Bartholomew, how do you say of? Of means times. Yes, of means times. Whenever you're doing math and you come across the word of, it means times. So it especially comes true when you read 4% of a number. Right when you hear of, Bartholomew, what do? Of means times. Okay, now in the classroom, whenever I say the word of, the whole class would repeat Bartholomew's voice. Now you can do it at home if you want for fun. I hope you do, because it gets to the point where whenever you hear the word of, you're going to think, of means times. And it's just a fun way to put that seed in your brain that you never forget it. But going back to the math problem here, 30% or 4% of 30. 4% of, so I know 30 is times 4%. Now, since the 30 is not written in a fraction, and naturally it's not written as a percent, I know that I have to be able to convert it to a decimal. Well, you might say, hey, Mr. Hosh, there's no decimal there. I don't see a decimal. But yes, there is a decimal. Quick common core lesson, okay? I'm not going to tell it to you, but I'm just going to do a common core lesson. I'm going to do something. I'm going to show you decimal points, and I want you to see if you can develop the pattern. There's no decimal point there. No decimal point shown. No decimal point shown. No decimal point shown. So if I look at a number and there's no decimal point, okay, here's the pattern I want you to see. If there's no decimal point, but I need to put one, it always goes at the end. Think of an animal walking this way, and our science word is scat. So our 14 is walking this way, and at the end, scat comes. So I did the first one. Here's the second one. Here's our number animal, and it's walking this way, and it goes scat. Okay, after 2 or 3, 17, where do you think the decimal point's going to go? Scat. 1, where's the decimal point going to go? If none is there and you need to put one, scat. What about 3,289? You go ahead, press pause, write the number, and you write where the decimal point goes. Okay, I bet you thought of this as an animal and you laughed and you put your decimal point right here. So looking at this problem, I'm going to convert, or I'm going to put the decimal point on the 30. Where does the decimal point go? Oh, it goes right there. Scat. So now that I know that there's a decimal point here, it reinforces that I'm not going to have to convert this percent to a fraction, but I'm going to convert the percent to a decimal. And I know it is 4%, so I write 0, 4. I will teach you how to multiply with decimals a little bit later. I just wanted you to know that when you get a percent and you have to convert it to do a problem, first of all, how do you know which one to do? And how do you look at a number and know which one to pick? So press pause. We're done our lessons for today. See if you can practice it. Write some numbers and practice putting the decimal point at the end, and then write some percents and practice converting them to decimals and fractions, and just kind of have fun with it. And I'll see you tomorrow at Calendar Math.